Hello there, Azer here. I really wanted to also talk about something that's, well, a pretty hot topic recently. There's no by no means I'm not actually keying myself into the drama or whatever, but let's be real here. Everybody is going to at least create their own piece against why, but I'll give my own reasons why Genshin Impact actually caused the current situation they got in themselves into now today. It's pretty simple. Genshin Impact is just way too successful for its own good. Basically, Genshin Impact looks like a Breath of the Wild clone. But in the end, it releases on the mobile platform and on PS4, and it was, you know, releasing right exactly before the whole pandemic hits worldwide. And guess what happens when the pandemic hits? Everybody stays inside their homes, and the only electronic device that everybody owns mostly is their mobile phones. Guess what is hot and new at the time? Genshin Impact. So, some people who have never played a single game before suddenly have all this free time to just spend, and so they chose to spend all their time with Genshin Impact. So of course it actually, created such a huge player base that I think MiHoYo at back then does not even anticipate that the game would actually get this huge. However, it did. And the story of Teyvat originally is just going to be just 1.0 and became a very, very normal gacha game in the end, just suddenly become like their golden goose. Now, guess what happens when a company have a golden goose? They try to milk as much out of it. And that's literally what you see from Genshin. The reason why this game it does not give you, better rewards per se in comparison to other gacha games is pretty simple. Because they know that their players are going to still pay up as long as the character looks pretty good, or as long as they like their characters in the banner. They are still going to pay it up because they know certain characters are much more appealing than the non-meta ones, or certain characters just has more popularity in comparison to the other characters. So basically, they just do all these banners and they're expecting a lot of revenue coming in, and they'll be right. Unfortunately, the main culprit behind all these issues leading towards these 4.4 live stream or maybe the first anniversary drama is pretty simple. It's just the Genshin Impact player base themselves. Nothing more, nothing less. The reason why the game became so successful today is not just because they have very great marketing, they have very great advertising, they have very great word of mouth, and they have very great first impression or whatever. I mean, a lot of good games can have the same kind of, treatment if we're not wrong. But because Genshin Impact was such a huge departure from what you generally get in mobile games, well, basically throwing out an open world game that you can explore and, seek adventures out here in this large open field is just insane. Of course, the whole trend started with Breath of the Wild that actually got released on Nintendo Switch and Wii U back then. Yeah, it's probably the reason why the whole open field, open world fad started. But the problem is this open world fad is really just a very, very big fad, really. Because after the whole open world aspect is getting tiresome for a lot of games, especially there's a lot of open world games, by the way, that's failed, like literally failed on release because they are just basically the same old gameplay. It's just that they are being thrown into a nice little pretty open world field and that's it. But the developers don't really create anything interesting out of those open worlds, and they are basically just crafting a new game that has the same system, but we put in the little bit spice of the open world experience, and that's it. That's literally it. There's no innovation being done to it. There's no special mechanics to be done to it. It's just like same old, same old. That's the reason why Far Cry is pretty boring every single time when they release a new expansion or new franchise title every single time, because it's the same thing. The only game that everybody remembers like does it the very well is probably Far Cry 3, but the newer Far Cries are just not able to compete against that game. So unfortunately, that's the reason why games don't really need open world to be successful. Only certain games, if they have a very just and very committed and a very clear vision on how they actually are going to fill up their open world with a lot of contents and a lot of like things to do, then they'll be successful, just like how Genshin Impact did. Of course, with all this being said, I do not wish to blame every single player who are playing Genshin Impact to be the main culprit. I'm actually particularly blaming the people who spend atrocious amounts of money to the game, because every time you pay up for followers or you just pay your money to get that character to E6 or just get that weapon to the max level or something like that, every time you lose 50-50, they will be laughing at you because, well, you are just providing them with money and they just keep getting infinite money because, well, as long as they are able to create popular characters, as long as they're able to create the new good looking characters, they are definitely going to be sold. There's definitely going to be huge sales coming behind that. So because this method of procuring so much profits over the years, over like literally months, and they turn into like a $1 billion company. Like seriously, man, like this is just a mobile game. It actually becoming a $1 billion company just because of Genshin Impact is just insane. Like, if you look at the rest of the list of the top gacha games, right, none of them has that much profits in comparison to Genshin Impact. And it's just how mind-boggling that Genshin somehow can get so much, so much profitability in comparison to like a lot of gacha games. And because they have so much money, they have the funds now to create new titles. Basically, they have enough funds from Genshin Impact, and they just took it and developed Honkai Star Rail. But then, then disaster struck when Honkai Star Rail suddenly became a real game, because players who are curious about Honkai Star Rail suddenly tried the game, and then they realize, oh wow, Honkai Star Rail is claiming so much rewards. Wait, why is Genshin being so stingy? They are literally the same game, like literally the same company creating different games, but technically they are still under the same umbrella as Hoyoverse. So why is Genshin Impact being treated differently? Some people blame the director, some people blame the player base, some people blame here and there, but the true reason is just, well, it's just way too successful, and it's just way too comfortable on the top. If you want to get a better comparison on what I'm talking about, you can look into something like the Pokemon company. Oh boy. By the way, when was the last time when Pokemon actually has a good game? Oh, that was like long time ago. Oh, I see. So the reason why Pokemon just create trash games in like literally this new generations is because, well, they know players are going to just buy them because of the Pokemon nostalgia that they got from the 2000s. So who cares? As long as there's Pokemon, they'll just buy it. And because they just realized that is a secret money-making machine franchise called Pokemon is there, they might as well just don't, put any effort at all in game development, because whatever they just put out, even if it's trash, the players is going to buy anyways. Then you can just apply this same theory into Genshin Impact. But the difference is, of course, Genshin Impact is already a good game. It's just that, unfortunately, I don't understand why the game developers or the person who decided the Genshin rewards is deciding to give so little rewards for the loyal player base who's stuck with them for 3 years. And of course, when they actually announced that they are going to give 3 free pools, literally 3 free pools, do you really think people are going to be happy with that? Of course not. Who the heck is going to be happy about 3 pools, my guy? Especially when you are surrounded by gacha games who actually, in their anniversaries, give free 10 pools consistently. Or some other games even give free 100 pools in their anniversaries as well. Come on, guys. Compare that to 3 freaking pools. Of course, the player base is going to mad. Even the Chinese player base, by the way, who was always just standing with me Hoyo from the start, is starting to just, unsubscribe from their TikTok account and their Bilibili accounts. And yeah, it literally causing an avalanche of boycotting Genshin Impact going on now because of how badly the loyal player base is being treated in comparison to players from Honkai Impact Dirt, players from Honkai Star Rail. It's actually treated even better because they somehow gave Honkai Star Rail players a free doctor ratio, which, wow, bro. The last time when Genshin get a free 5-star, it was because of PS4, and that's it. The reason why Aloy was in the game is just to represent the PS4. The problem with Aloy, however, is because she is not in any certain banner at all. She has no constellations. She has nothing for her. She is technically usable if you have Furina, but really, I mean, why would Genshin Impact only have Aloy as the free 5-star? They could have just given the free 5-star selector very, very early on, especially when they have the first anniversary backlash. Unfortunately, the players still keep on supporting the game. So that's the reason why most people are trying to now boycott Genshin Impact, because of how bad the rewards are being given. Now, don't get me wrong, the game's patches are always looking pretty nice and stuff like that. The characters that are being revealed are also pretty cool, pretty nice as well. Now, the problem is not on the patches, on the content of Genshin Impact at all. It's more why are the developers don't give out that much rewards at all? If you look at the current situation, it's pretty easy to find out. It's pretty simple. Because they want more money, because of greed, because of profitability. The reason why they are able to keep 30 million profit every single month is just baffling. Even Honkai Star Rail can't actually reach those numbers consistently. But Honkai Star Rail did actually have increase in terms of, they did sometimes actually surpass that of Genshin's revenue. But of course, because Genshin Impact has the advantage of being a 3-year-old game, of course they'll have higher total in terms of the income. But of course, compared to Honkai Star Rail, who suddenly just gotten so much more profit in just several months of release, it's just insane. Because it really just shows that if you treat your players good, they will pay up for your gacha games. Alright? If if you treat your players very badly, they will try to destroy your gacha game. It's very simple. Don't mess with the players. Always take their side. Always understand why their plights are. Always understand the issues they are being provided from the player bases. If you don't follow their advices, make sure that your decisions are not against the consumers, because they are the people who enables this golden goose to earn so much, to be able to lay so much golden eggs at the first point. So what I wanted to just say is that either if you boycott the game or not, I believe Genshin Impact has a very high potential to actually turn around and apologize to the player base and say, yeah, sorry about the rewards, and we should have providing evenly just rewards in comparison to our other games as well. If they manage to do that, then this video will be for naught. But who knows if they are still doing their very bad practices of giving literally 3 wishes. Okay, you asked for it, I guess. So basically that's literally the video I wanted to make today. But yeah, if you like my contents or you probably wanted to see more in the future, hopefully you can just leave a like and subscribe so I can actually create more videos or documentaries or just literally commentaries about other games and stuff like that. And for now, sayonara.